mysteries of the unknown.
Russ Adams. Best sculpture I've ever done.
Egomaniac.
This has like become our anthem. Oh, I need a Red Bull.
Thanks, Red Bull.
Oh. Cheers to the coconut gods. Yeah. Oh, welcome back to another edition of Into the Layers. We are your hosts, Frank and
Igor.
And we've got our little mascots here today. Except
we got 3 mascots.
That's right. That's right. And except disclaimer, those aren't our mascots, because that's Frank and Igor. We're Frank and Igor, so I don't even know who these are.
Those are cute little dolls you got. And Finn. We got Finn.
And we got Finny. He's laying at Nate's feet because he's the best. That was my mic stand, not my butthole. Okay. My little broadcast arm broke, so yeah. If you're watching consecutively, keep an eye, because in the next few episodes maybe we'll have things switched up. Anyway, another edition of Into the Layers, your one-stop shop for all things existentialism, pseudo spirituality, self-help. We need self-help,
but we do.
Yeah, we're that exact thing you're talking about. It's like we're life coaches. Really? Don't spread too thin. It's like take your own class, drink your Kool-Aid. We're just dipshits, right?
Total.
That's kind of the thing. God, now not having it, I know why everyone uses one. God damn, these are annoying. What's up, Nate? What is new, man?
Not much, man. This is kind of an atypical. It's not nighttime. The kids are still awake.
Yeah.
And
the world's still moving.
We're not drinking whiskey.
I know. We're on energy drinks like we need them.
Well, I need to finish. This is like a break from work, which is
nice.
Which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. That's right. You came in. I was still moving. What is going on here? Oh, I can't reach. I'm like stuck in prison in this chair.
You want me to do that?
There we go.
You good?
I think so. I was doing this. I have enough chins. I don't need to add more.
You know what I was having today?
A stroke? Too many 5-hour energies?
Yeah. Imposter syndrome. It wouldn't be would it be syndrome? Like
I had Stockholm syndrome yesterday to Kelsey.
You were like, I love you even though
I'm like, I love you,
me
please. Imposter syndrome.
You know what that is?
Yes? Question mark?
It's like when you're at your job and you're like, I shouldn't be here. Like,
oh boy, do I know what that is.
I was gonna ask if you ever were there.
Oh yeah. All the time.
You're you just go so deep on stuff though that I feel like your knowledge base is real rock solid.
Not really though, because it's also a defense mechanism. I knew very young, because I hung out with a lot of older people my whole life. I didn't hang out with kids. After like 9th grade, I was kind of robbed.
Out of here, Billy.
Yeah. I mean, I robbed myself of it a little bit, but at the same time, I was around a lot of adults, and I think we said this in one of the episodes. A lot of like really intellectual people, far more than I needed to be around, and interesting cats too. So I realized I was like, wow, they have that effect on me. That'd be cool to have that effect on other people in a genuine way. Like, you know what I mean? Not using it like, oh, I'm going to outwit you. And like, cause I'm an idiot. You know, it's just, the other thing is it's always in contrast of whoever you're hanging out with. Like they're,
Takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, that's right. Here we go, baby. Cheers. No, I get it though. I think a lot of my, the only way that I make myself confident is to not be out-researched and not be out-thought. And you can't ever, so like in music, right? When I was younger, I'd be on like, let's say it was a festival bill or a multi-bill act. You have to guess what the next guy's going to bring. It's almost like stand-up comedy. It's like you get these killers that are just crowd killers, like a Dane Cook or a Sam Kinison or a Bobby Lee even, just because of his energy and the way he does it. And then if you have a really straight act, you could be funnier to the majority of people's opinions than those other acts, but good luck following them because it's just a whole different energy. So it's that same thing. I realized, well, you can't guess the room you're walking into, whether it's a business meeting or it's a meeting of the minds or it's just this. like a sweat box of a French cafe where we're just sitting talking. You don't know. So the best way to prepare is, learn, I guess.
Yeah, it is. The industry I'm in, though, is there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time researching, but like today, I just felt like I wasn't there, man. I was like, man, I'm over my head. It's a shitty feeling.
It is. I think I must come off way more confident or knowledgeable to you than I am, because that's like the same reason I haven't done a solo podcast yet, or like a lot of my, like I told you, a lot of my friends and mentors are like, you're doing a podcast that isn't about the music industry or entertainment. It's like, yeah, because who the fuck do I think I am? Like, we know some of the stuff we know, but I'm no fucking expert. Like, there are far better people to hear it from than me. And I know that. So I like, how do you start a show under that mindset? Like,
right.
Not a smart move. But yeah, I mean, I think nowadays it doesn't really matter. I think I'm finding enjoyment in the conversation and in the camaraderie, in a group setting, just to do it anyway.
Well, we don't need to be experts to do what we're doing right now.
Well, that's right.
I mean, you technical on the technical side, you're killing it. But
ready for a mic fart?
Another one.
Yeah. Oh no!
Another one.
It's a mysterious fart.
He does he puts his tongue way down in his mouth.
Another one.
Another one.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm also careful of being self-congratulatory, because it's annoying and I hate when people do it.
Yeah, but you kind of need to do it once in a while. I mean,
well, it's hard.
You can't just keep ripping on yourself.
I'm actually finding, I said this to Steve on our show, well, before, maybe even during it, I don't remember now because we do so many of these. What they don't know is by the time whoever's watching this now, all three of them, whenever they see this is months of backlog shows. So like,
they're like, why is all their hair brown?
Yeah, it's like, then they're going to see a new one and be like,
not gray hair.
What the fuck? And be like, what happened? All of a sudden it's going to change.
50 by the time these.
Dude, you know what we should do? Steve and I talked about this. I'm always like the strategist to the extent of put out one a week because we've got them banked and we'll always be ahead of the curve. So if we miss a couple months, who gives a shit? But then Steve's like, fuck, dude, why don't you just drop them all? Right out of the gate. Have that instant inventory of shows. And I was like,
yeah, because people they're not, I mean, I tune into mine once a week because that's when they come out. But if they were already out,
you'd watch them. Yeah, yeah. And we can. I'm under this mindset of like, because in the music world, if you're going to be your own label, you have to be that. You can't just go to a bar and drink and show off and be like, oh, I own my own rights and I own my own masters on my own label, but then fuck off. I mean, some people can and get away with it, but most people will fail. You have to, if you're going to put yourself in place of a major entity that's job is those things, you should be doing those things.
Oh, marketing it. Like,
I mean, to an extent, and there's no rules, obviously. And people that have broke those have actually had bigger successes than people that follow them. So it's not a complete rule, but I mean, you should be approaching it in a way that makes sense marketing-wise. That being said, we really can break any tradition. We certainly could just drop but my guess by the time these are ready to put out in terms of the channel and everything, we'll probably have a dozen episodes between shows. I mean, we're already at 7.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. You and I have 5 with this.
We do?
Yeah. Steve and I have 2.
What?
Yeah.
Because we double up on
We did
one.
We did the first one. Well, let's be clear, because another thing with me and Nate that we love is transparency, because it's awesome. And it's so nice because there's none of that. You're not checking your words because you're not hiding anything from people. So Nate and I have done dozens of trials. So we're talking about like official episodes.
Right.
We have that first one I sent you, hour and change. The hauler, because we thought it was going to be the first. So now they're going to get a 2 hour and 40-minute second episode, which is real quick. If you're seeing this, because this will probably be shorter, watch that one because it's fun. We go deep, man.
That was a marathon.
Deep in the brain and deep in the bottle. Jesus. And then we just did a double. That's 4. This is 5. Steve and I have done 2. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, we're gonna be rocking and rolling, but I don't know. I kind of like that. I like that sentiment because I do love how Steve brings that little cavalier energy, because he's not. This is way. You think this is new to you? To Steve, he's like, production. I ate enough veggies this week. I'm like, that's not a play. That's not extension of produce. He's like, oh, what do you mean then? Something when your toilet needs to be fixed. Love you, Steve. But no, he just doesn't give a shit because he has no, he's not groomed in that industry. He's like, fuck it, drop them all. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like it.
That works.
I like the energy.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
You mentioned Backstreet Boys earlier.
Oh, geez.
And it just jogged my memory. When I was in Mexico the first time, I dropped out of school, went down there, and I stayed with a friend that had gone to my college.
Oh, God.
She was from Mexico. And first night I get there, man, you're just exhausted. Traveling is exhausting.
Well, that's a haul from where we are.
She's like, my sister wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she's like, on the phone. And I'm like, that's
Oh,
tough.
And she's full Spanish?
That's tough. Yeah, full. But so we call her, and it's the radio station. She works at the radio station. And so she's like, okay, so we're going to put you on air, and we want you to do this. We just want you to play along with the DJ. Just play along with what he says.
What?
And I'm like, this is not going to go well.
Oh, God.
So I had no idea. Oh, and then she said, and the joke is that you're a Backstreet Boy, and you're gonna answer some interview questions.
And they're gonna play it off like it's legit, though.
Yeah. And
I love it.
Right. It was funny. Yeah.
I love it.
So they did a bunch of jokes, making me look gay. I'm pretty sure is the Mexican.
Boy, were they prolific.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, wait. I mean prophetic, but also. Like, okay, I don't know if we're going that far.
Do a lot of gay
You're like,
jokes.
easy. It was a gimmick show.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, Backstreet Boy? No, right? Lance? I don't know.
Yeah, Lance Bass.
Was he from the Backstreet Boys? I thought he was from NSYNC.
I have no idea.
Who knows? Anyway,
I love all of them.
like I stalk them, so I can tell you their dog's name, but I don't know them.
But I don't know what band they're in. Yeah. Anyway, they did and then they made me sing on the radio.
And was it awesome?
No, it was terrible. I mean, I'm sure it was terrible, but they had a
man.
good time. I'm sure they had all.
Could
the
you
sound
imagine if we
effects.
could track that down?
Oh, I wish I could. Yeah, I bet I wonder if we could.
You probably could.
I'll ask her.
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
dude. We need to take calls, Zooms, whatever. We're like, we're missing so much functionality, and it would be so cool and so funny. I don't know who, I don't know why, but we should think about it.
Yeah,
I was saying that to Steve, and he's all about it. Well, he wasn't.
Should we warn them or should we just call people? I mean,
I think well, depends on how cavalier or how legit you want to be. You should make them sign off.
Sign a release.
But then again, I'm watching podcasts and guys talk about them on YouTube about doing theirs, and they're like, yeah, I just have people call in and leave voicemails, and then I play them and respond. It's like,
well, if they call in.
Right, I guess that's true.
But if you called them.
Right, because it's unsolicited. Yeah, it could be funny, though. What we could do, we'd have to cut it out, is we could do that, mess with them, get told to pound sand, and then call them and be like, listen, it was just a show. Could we get permission to put it on? Do the jackass treatment. Because that's early on. Well, I think that's still what they do. You can't warn people if you want reactions.
Yeah, right.
But they would just go and do the most heinous, hilarious shit, and then they'd have producers with big smiles and sometimes checks if need be, run around and try to get release form signed.
Try to correct the damage.
Your response was so good, and some people were not having it.
What would we do, though?
I don't know.
I used to prank call the real estate office where I worked. That was a good time.
Only you. You work there, you just make them a living hell. When you're not there, you're like, you know what? I'm going to call them real quick.
Well, you're in the car, you're like bored, you have a couple Red Bulls, and you're like, start doing voices, and then you're like, I got to call somebody and mess with
my
them.
God. I used to do so many prank calls growing up. I used to call around pretending to be, I don't want to say anyone's name, but a cop in my hometown that was pretty infamous and scare the shit out of all my friends, because back then I guess I probably didn't. I thought I had a good low voice. I was like, yeah, this is a blah 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 calling in. Is this it's just Luke
Did you
Johnson.
do a southern accent too?
No, but I'm doing it now because I'm an idiot. And
all cops have southern accents.
Yeah, it's authoritarian. No. Also, yeah. Never mind. I can't say that.
Can't do that one. Is he dead? Is the cop dead?
No.
He's not?
No. How old do you think I am?
Well, a couple of the cops.
Like, well, you
you
gotta be at least 60.
50. You don't have any hair.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we could mess with some people.
Dude, I love how there's a whole different energy. I think whiskey might be our trick. We're gonna find out in like another 30 minutes, but we come to light, man. I don't know what it is. And I said, I said that at the end. I think it was the end of the last one. See, we were just talking about this before we started, and even we've done 4, and I can't remember what was said on what at all. But at one of them, I mentioned how because alcohol is such a tricky substance and it has ruined people's lives and made things extremely hard for others, it gets a really bad rap because people can't, or rep. How is that said? Is that bad reputation? Or is it a bad rap
think
sheet?
It's a bad. Yeah, I think I say both actually.
Yeah, me too.
Bad rap.
Yeah.
He gets a bad rap. Gets
Well,
a bad rep.
You can correct us.
It gets a bad rap, but it
has a bad rep.
I don't say rep.
No, I think it's rap.
I think it's rap.
I've never known. I hate that saying.
I hate words.
I'm tired. Yeah, me too. Yeah, and it's true, and it does. But the funny thing is, nobody can use substances. Yes, they can. I'm generalizing. It's difficult.
Nobody.
No one has the
can
capability
do it ever.
But it is. It's tricky ground. Even right now, I'm like backtracking because I'm like, this is not going to go over well. But it's like, things used responsibly have an effect. That's like saying.
Wait, but what were you talking about?
So I have anxiety, lots of it. Very manic, creative, wild inside. Borderline, probably a few syndromes. And
Stockholm is one of them.
Yeah, it's what we found out earlier. And my thing is, I don't self-medicate because I actually, unless we're doing this and stuff, I don't really drink. I don't drink alone ever. Like I've got a full stocked bar of stuff. I never drink unless I'm hanging with somebody. It's a social casual thing, right?
Yeah, I don't anymore.
That smirk. I was like, okay. No, I really don't either. Actually, I've got like a back every time Kels goes to grocery shop like once a week. She's like, "Oh, I'll grab a new fun 6-pack." There's such a stock because I just don't. Too busy.
Yeah,
I don't fucking.
In there. Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? So I'm saying that, and I'm so used because I was raised around addicts, and both my parents were. Oh, that's good. Yeah, angle it. Yeah. There you go. And both my parents were, and whatnot. And it's like, so I find myself slipping into their shoes via guilt. So I'm like, if you're saying this about alcohol, you probably have a problem. But I don't. And my point about it is, it has a use when used appropriately. So again, a guy being very manic, very anxious, one drink, beer, wine, whiskey, what have you, really levels me out, lets me think clearer. Now, a lot of people, that sounds enabling, and I guess it is. I mean, how do you look at that?
No, I'm fine. Well, like a doctor would say, 2 drinks a day for a male, is not a problem.
Oh, is that the? I didn't know the baseline for that.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a good amount.
That's a lot.
But you know what the problem is, though? I've heard, based on going to places with my father.
Oh, geez. Now we're going to get in trouble if that's not right. But I think
it might not be right. Check it out. It's something like that.
Do not take medical advice from this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Here's what I know from certain meetings attending to support a certain someone who I already said, my dad, when he was still around. They would say, because my dad, again, you want to talk about tricky, workarounds? He goes, well, if I'm not drinking those 2 a day, then on Friday I can compile them and I can have my 12. Whatever the math is, 10. And they're like, no. And
14.
Furthermore,
14.
The idea of a binge session is actually really bad, even if you're not having your weekly amount, right? The binging aspect is terrible.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that makes sense because one is a whole different mindset than the other. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like.
But your initial statement, which I can remember because I'm not drinking whiskey right now, is was that it was.
Like, usually I change the subject, but
it was usually I don't remember what we're talking about.
Smile and nod.
Was like you said, it was magic for us, or the magic trick for us, because why? So Red Bull's not as good?
Yeah, that was definitely. I feel like we should tread lightly. That was a joke leading into this more serious part. And furthermore, my apologies if we're wrong or we're offending somebody or we're misspeaking, because I understand that's a touchy subject. I get it personally.
Yeah, can be.
I don't mean that. All I'm saying is, like caffeine has a use.
It's a drug.
Right. I don't think it causes much turmoil. Of course it hasn't as other substances, but it is addicting, by the way. Very addicting. But it has its uses. Things in the body do things. They have an effect. And sometimes those effects are beneficial if you can put them in a vacuum and take out all the other things that it can destroy and harm, right? But that being said, I actually do think it's kind of it's like the mojo.
You think the whiskey's the mojo for us?
Of this show. I really do.
So this is not going to be a popular episode. They're gonna see their can. They're gonna be like,
not after what I just said. Like, fuck this self-important
Fuck this
thinking
guy.
knows shit.
Yeah, this guy that's talking about.
Yeah.
And then he's going to
Excusing his drug habit.
the next episode, right?
Yeah. No, but I really do feel that. I've never said it because, again, I've grown up and been around addicts. Even when I wasn't around my family, I'm still around addicts. And you can't say that shit. That is so enabling. You cannot say that. Even if it's true.
Say what?
What I just said. Any of it. You cannot enable that in any way because they'll use that.
You can rationalize any. Yeah, if you make it easier for somebody to rationalize behavior, that's not a good deal. But what's the other? You're gonna fight with them about it. I don't know. I mean, it's that's tough.
Yeah, and again, I mean it specifically and only about me, and you if you want it to be, but just me. I mean, like I said, I barely drink.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm saying it from kind of a. I mean, I'm playing it off like some fucking saint. I have drank. I've gone through periods where I drank quite a bit.
I'm 40. I've done all my drinking that I want to do.
That's right.
And now I'm
But it is nice now. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's nice to be responsible with any substance and use it for its benefits, and that's it, and put it away. I think that's cool.
I know we don't do politics on this, which this isn't.
Well, we can.
Yeah.
We can do whatever.
This isn't really political, but
political.
The new, I think Maine is Maine talking about it? Legalizing all substances.
I think it's genius. I'd have a complete different, hell, I don't know how deep we want to go down this rabbit hole, but I'm at a point where it's fine for me. I just don't want the or to kill the mood. But both my parents passed from addiction.
You need an awe button though.
I do. I really do, because we don't need this. I'd never even touch it except right then.
Yeah, the rewind.
I love the little rewind. But both my parents passed from drug addictions, both of them, or substance abuse problems. So it doesn't make me an expert on those things. In fact, I don't feel like even a professional, never mind an expert. I mean, I'm an amateur. I have my limited experience with them, albeit hard and strong. It was just my experience. These things can be skewed and colored in many ways. But I will say, in hindsight, I would have never said it before, but now it certainly is a mental issue. It is certainly not criminal, and it shouldn't be treated criminal. I believe that 100%. I mean, the way that some people treat addicts, the way you want to treat anyone is fine. It's going to depend on your worldview, right? In my worldview, treating an addict like a piece of shit, like they're a criminal and they're a second-rate citizen, number one, it doesn't help them. And number two, it's a toxic worldview. The thing that breeds is toxic. You're not helping that person at all. You're treating them like a leper. And I was angry for many years, so that was kind of my response.
You were angry that they were addicts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you treated them that way? And
you want to talk about intellectualism. You want to know where it doesn't get you? Off your high horse. Because I've had that too. I'm telling you this stuff. I'm smart enough to realize the way out of this. So are you. If I can think about it, so can you. If I can connect the dots, so can you. Just this self-righteous, just gross mentality, thinking that just having that air about you can translate to these people. And if they're too stupid to realize it, then whatever, so be it. And it's like, dude, hang me. Like, get over yourself. And look where that leads. I mean, that doesn't do anything. So I would, I'd have these points, these eras in our relationships, mine and my parents, where I just didn't talk to them, cut them out for months. You just get tired. You try everything you can, and then you're like, I can't do it because I know I'm not helping you. If anything, I'm hurting you, right? Because I'm not helping, and I'm making your experience worse. Beyond that, you're hurting my life now. You're not just hurting you, and then me hurting you. Now you're also hurting me, and none of us are benefiting from this relationship. I'm out.
I can see how this could go very deep. We could do a
long one. And listen, the thing is, I'm in a good space with both of them and me. I'm in the best space I've been about it, right? So it's all good. I just think it's a good thing. Like, if someone's struggling with that and that's how you feel, that's fine. You're totally valid to feel that way. And it's okay. Like, part of the process is to be angry. And I'm not saying, if you've lost somebody to addiction. I'm saying if you're going through it with someone,
Right.
if someone you love has addiction, if you're angry right now, you're hearing this, and someone you know has an addiction issue, a problem with substances, and you've cut them out, it's fine. That's fine. It's a step, and it's something, you know? At least you're passionate enough to have a, response. Some of our family just had no response.
Really?
None. Didn't care. I mean, or didn't show that they cared. And it's like, no one knows what to do. The thing is, you can't put a template on those situations because everyone's so different. So even if something worked miraculously for like your son or your dad or your cousin or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they're different people. You could swap out, quotients in that equation and it will not equate. It won't work.
Yeah, no, you're preaching to the choir. I'm 100% where you're at with the legalization.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, imagine if so let's segue away from my personal thing. I'll use them as an example in this for other people. If you legalize this stuff, you pull out the ramifications of doing it, right? You pull out the troubles you could get in legally for doing it. So here's the thing. If someone you know is using drugs and that use is a symptom of a deeper rooted issue, which usually it is, what is putting them in jail going to do? Someone would argue, well, they can't do heroin in jail. That might be true most of the time. I mean, if you're a newbie in jail, probably not.
No.
If you're a lifer, you can find your ways, right? Or, you know what I mean. I mean, my mother getting put in I don't even know what prisons are still. Thomaston, is that still a prison? No.
I don't know.
Whatever local prisons are still open. Her being a new prisoner, she's not getting heroin. She doesn't know enough people. They wouldn't they're not going to chance their connections on someone they just met. I would guess. Maybe I don't know.
I have no idea.
But right, so that's the argument, okay? See, here's the problem. Her specifically went through a lot of stuff we don't have to go down that people would crazy life. That's why she used drugs as an escape. What is 30 days in a jail cell going to do about that?
Right.
So right when she gets out, she's going back to it because that's her medicine. It's a self-medicating thing. And so removing the legal issue, it doesn't fix anything. So I think that's where people get tied up. They're like, well, what good does it do? Other than that, right? Alleviating the resources, the man hours, the state budgets for cops and prisons and lawyers and judges, whatever. It alleviates that, and it stops us from filling jail cells with people that are just recreationally using drugs, and they're an adult and they can. I guess that would be the argument then because it's legal. They're like, well, it doesn't do any good then, so why do we do it? Well, you do it because maybe you're shifting the paradigm. You're shifting the zeitgeist away from the stigma of it all, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a mental, and this is something that I thought this was going off the rails for a minute. If you know me well, or even if you don't, you could probably tell there's an air of panic to the way I'm speaking. But it's actually full circle because you and I talk about this ad nauseum all the time. Mental health.
Yeah.
It is ignored. It is, again, there's a huge stigma around it. It needs to change. I mean, you would find a lot of these problems solving themselves with proper mental health.
I think other countries
attention.
have done it successfully. I mean, it's not like we'd be on the vanguard. It's
right.
Like, they've done it. And you're not, it's the same thing with, I think we just did the prostitution thing. Like we just decriminalized. And so now people that are.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Maine did.
Holy shit. I swear I'd
been
never
doing
knew that.
some stuff. Yeah.
Good, dude. Here's the thing. What kind of archaic fucking mindset are we at? Group thought, our country, our state, let's say, let's segment, that we give a shit. So here's the thing. The problem is I love to think in layers, so I get way ahead, and then I got to pull out. You're like, oh, no way. I got to pull out pieces to try to stay straight here. The argument, again, would be, well, we don't want our citizens riddled with STDs and, we can't regulate people's bodies and blah, 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 blah. Since when does the state give a sweet fuck about people's bodies and regulating their health? And, come on. That's not the argument. That is the argument, I would assume. But come on.
Right.
Come on. They don't give a shit. They don't. And I'm not, whatever. I'm not one of those, fuck the establishment. I'm not, but they don't care. I mean, they show it through their actions, not me saying it. They don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, our My mother, my sister, when I was raising her, was always on our subsidized health care. Maine care? Maine care. It's good because it's better than nothing, but it's god-awful.
Is it bad?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. I can't tell you the things we had to pay for out of pocket. That they just wouldn't cover, necessary things. They didn't think it was. It's like I have friends, good friends of mine, creative guys, artists, struggling artists that are not privileged. They don't have a lot of money. They rely on Maine care. And they've told me, like, especially with dental stuff, it's literally like, it's like last ditch effort covered. It's like there's not a lot of preventative care. There's very minimal. It's like whatever. I don't have enough personal knowledge with it to make a strong case for or against it. I just know from what I've been told, it's not very good. So you're going to tell me that same state cares enough about your physical health that they don't want you getting herpes because they can't require STD check? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, we finally rounded the corner. So
it's crazy. Nate, you got me ranting today.
You said, man. You said you were on 11.
Ah, dude, I'm the worst. I think
it's funny how I can bring something up and you're like,
yeah. Let's rewind and slow down. Oh, I love the rewind.
Another one.
I'm gonna sample one of the times you've said it, and I'm gonna replace Khaled with you. Yeah, let's slow down. I get excited about stuff, and I'm a centrist in almost every issue, really, which is funny. Not really. I guess it makes sense, but I think most of my friends are, right? You're a centrist. You must be. I can tell just by the way your opinions on some of the things we have talked about on and off this.
My non-opinions on some of the things too.
Well, like, yeah, I think that's another big thing. It's like, imagine being so confident in your opinions that you'd champion them to the death with no, like, wiggle room to change them. I just don't understand that. I think, like, early in, I realized the only chance you have at being right is being able to be wrong, and realizing that most of the time you probably are.
We talked about the guy, and I still didn't look up his name, but the guy that got 200 Ku Klux Klan members to
I
quit.
love it. I know, and I should know his name too. I know that I've listened to his stuff.
I mean, that's an extreme example of what we're talking about.
That's right.
Those guys were to the death.
Oh, yeah.
I hate minority. I hate these people.
And it's a lesson for me anyway. What I take immediately from it is like, this is the problem of your limited perception in something, the echo chambers that we sit in if we're not careful. Those guys, I don't think those guys thought they were villains going into that meeting with him.
You're never the villain in your own story, right?
I doubt they thought they were. But the problem is when you don't have any experience to the contrary, how do you know?
There's a cool study that's they bring you into a room. I think it's 7 other people and you.
Yeah.
And they just show you these images. I think the image, the study was like 3 lines.
Okay.
And they say which line is the longest line or shortest or whatever it is. And all the 7 other people are actors paid to say.
I've seen this, and you'll side with them.
And if nobody says the right answer, you're just going to, a lot of the time.
Dude, I saw this.
Got to be that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you'd rather be with them than right.
Right.
Yeah.
But they said a follow-up study or one that was going along with it. If one other person says
just one right.
goes against the grain and does the right one, you're like, oh, thank God somebody sees.
Yeah. Your tribe got a little bigger.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think a lot of these things, at least what I've been seeing lately, is tribalistic in nature, a lot of stuff. Even and again, we don't have to go down this because we're both aware that neither of us are experts on this topic, but from my anecdotal evidence, my experience, and however limited or open that is it's an issue of tribalism. It's an issue of identity. It's an issue of limited perception. And it's a severe issue in not being able to be incorrect. That's what I've seen. I think those are the biggest issues. Talking about, drug use being a symptom of mental health, I think all of the things I just said, all of the issues that are pressing our country are symptoms of those things. I do, personally.
address those.
I know I'm like championing him I'm not a sociologist or a psychologist like I know, but I see it all the time. I mean, from simple Facebook posts from friends to Reddit posts from people I don't know and I won't know, to national news, and it's like it's all that. It's this like, again, I'm trying not to use the word politics, if you can't tell. Trying very hard not to. But identity politics, take that out. How about just identity?
Yeah.
Right? Tribalism, tribalistic politics. You know, it's like all of these things, the unwillingness to meet minds is wild to me. Because again, maybe this is projecting. I want your thought on this. Because you're very much like me in that sense, where like, I want to build a better infrastructure internally based on other people's experience too. I value a summary in here that isn't just mine. And I know you kind of have that same
Yeah, I'm trying to think right now if that's how I construct things.
From trusted, so I'm not saying like anyone you run into, like, you know.
Yeah, I definitely am open to advice. I think I'm more open to advice than a lot of people I meet.
Me too. I think you are, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Is
that how I do it?
Yeah, that's kind of my question. It's like, oh, no, it's not. Sorry. I was thinking about you. So do you have this same dilemma I have? Because I'm like that. I kind of project that thought, and I'm like, oh, that's the way society moves. Every year we're more evolved, we're more efficient, we're more altruistic, we're more all-encompassing. We're moving toward progress. That's what we want. But do you feel like that? And then you're let down every time you see that doesn't happen?
Yeah, it's the most, yeah. But let me wait till after my pee break for...
Oh, yeah, the pee break. I stick around for pee breaks now for some reason because they're too long to edit out. So here we go. I'll take a quick second while Nate is relieving himself to just reiterate that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking. And I think it is nice to reiterate that Nate and I would have this exact same conversation, whether we were sitting here or out on my deck smoking a cigar or, you know, at his place eating a burger. I mean, this is how we talk. We're not putting anything on because we're being recorded. In fact, I'm kind of uncomfortable knowing that we're being recorded, and I'm, you know, trying my best to speak clearly, freely, without doctoring anything too much. But I also think it's important to tread lightly. Some of the subjects that anyone talks about, it doesn't, whether it's on or off something like this, can not just offend, because that word is thrown around all too much these days, but affect people, you know? And we're not trying to do that, and I hope that's clear. We're just chatting. And I don't think either of us feel like we're experts, like we're making it very well known anyway, that we're not on any of these subjects. I just wanted to make that known. And you're back.
Feeling good.
I had to say a quick mid-disclaimer.
We've been disclaiming this one.
I just don't want to, it's not that, like I just said, offend gets thrown around way too much these days. It's not even that. I don't want to affect people, you know? You can trigger people in a real way and, you know, cause pain, or you can anger people and be like, who the fuck are you to say? And I'm not. My point is I agree with you. If that's how you feel about any of these points, I agree. Who the fuck am I? I'm not. But I was saying that this is not a show for this or this. We would have this exact same conversation if we were on my deck or you're literally.
Right.
But the problem with that is that stuff's not put on record to be able to be reheard and
no, but we're not
down.
saying anything, even in our normal conversations, that we couldn't put up.
No,
here.
agreed.
You know,
It's just
nice.
these days, do they scare you?
It's nice to clarify a little bit. They don't scare me.
They do scare me. Maybe that's something to talk about. No one, well, yes, they do. We haven't talked about it. They scare me because I'm never trying to hurt anybody, ever. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm not trying to speak distastefully, ever. My fear is that you don't get the luxury sometimes of clarifying what you said,
right?
If someone doesn't bring it to your attention.
Taken out of context.
Right.
So what scares me, I guess 75% is that I wouldn't be conscious enough to be sensitive to those things.
Whoops. Yeah.
The other quarter is the people that want to just be mad or just are having a bad day or angry or frustrated, which is, you know, I think where a lot of this comes from is
someone's looking for a
because you don't feel like you're getting yours. You feel like you're you're being ignored or you're, and then you're gonna want to kind of lash out, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of it's going to happen regardless. You could say nothing
If
and
someone's
it's gonna
not
happen.
listening to you, or but that's what I do listen to people.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's pretty evident. Like I do most of the listening.
Sorry.
No, but
Another one.
that is it's my personality. I like.
Dude, not to jump in again to let you listen.
Oh, can I listen? Just let me listen for a second.
We have to make it known because a buddy of mine brought this to my attention. He's like, "You've been saying a lot about podcasts. You're running multiple podcasts." We're like, yeah, we're shooting like 3 shows right now with potentials for at least 2 more. And he's like, God damn, what's one of them called? I'm like, Into the Layers with Frank and Igor. And he's like, and I'm like, I love that. I love the name. I love the idea of the archetypes. And he goes, who's your co-host? And I'm like, oh, you wouldn't know him. Guy named Nate Paling. He's the man. And he goes, is he Igor? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, little offensive, don't you think? And I'm like, I never thought of it because of just the way that the characters are, who they are, how they are. And I'm like, I never thought of it. And I'm like, and then I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I guess, but he came up with that play on those characters, not me. So I'm like, no, I don't. I don't think it's offensive. But I wanted to, again, talk about not realizing people aren't at, they don't get the luxury of knowing some of this inside stuff at first, like when you're rock tumbling things. So they might not know that.
How is Igor? Well, how is that offensive?
Well, he's a kid, he's not.
Isn't he more evil? Isn't he like the evil one?
Well, he's kind of
what I remember.
You're laughing at his expense, right?
Yeah, because he's frustrated because he can't get done what he's like. He's got a more evil plan, I think.
A little bit, but he's kind of not the dipshit's
not
the
that
wrong
I
word.
do, but like.
But well, not that he's kind of.
Isn't he like frustrated and he's
the
physically-
comedic punching bag.
He's phically having a hard time. Yeah.
But the problem is, I forget though. It's like here I am over speaking because that's my fucking role.
You're Frank.
Right, but the thing, and this is why you came up with it, but I forget if it's like people are like, dude, tell that Daniel guy shut the fuck up. And then they realize I think I'm Dr. Frankenstein and you're Igor. They're going to be like, super go fuck yourself.
Except that I named it.
Right. But again, I was just thinking like I forgot about that conversation. I
can't wait for the comments.
Oh,
but you know what? I probably the first one comes in and I'm like, I'll be depressed. I'll be like, this guy.
Me too. Be easy on us. We really mean well. And hey, more than mean well, we don't know what we're doing. We're literally ironing these shows out very vulnerably. Vulnerable.
Exactly.
How do you say that?
Vulnerably. Wait.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Another one.
Whoop.
Can you do the rewind?
Vulnerability. But there's also
vulnerability. Vulnerably.
Yeah, that's a word, right?
I don't think so.
Dude, I need sleep.
You need
2 more Red Bulls. Holy God.
Another one.
Dude, that's close.
Pretty close.
Another one.
He has his tongue in his mouth different.
Yeah, he does.
I have a fat tongue, apparently.
But yeah, we don't know anything.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I was talking about this podcast actually on Paranormies.
Oh my God. Did you do another one?
We did 2.
Another one. Did you?
Yeah, we did
another one.
Oh, we did.
Another one.
There we go.
Let's start talking like that.
But yeah, we were talking about this show a little bit, but I also think it would be cool to talk about that one because Steve, it's seeming more and more like you might be Steve's comfort blanket, which I thought.
What do you mean?
Well, every time we're like, yeah, let's go to this. He's like, all right, yeah, and then me and Nate, and I'm like, listen, Nate can come to anything he wants. That's not my point, but you need
a Linus doll.
Oh yeah,
because he has the blanket.
He can cuddle it and he can sit in his lap. No, I'm kind of messing with him, but he wants to do a group thing at almost all of these haunted places. So on the last episode, we went down.
Yeah, because he knows he can push me out of the way. If something comes,
he's like, if something comes, I'm going to trip Nate and run.
It's like I don't have any emotional investment in Nate.
Oh my God, no! But and I said, so I'm messing with him. I'm like, why do you want Nate there so bad? You scared? You need 2 of us to hold you? And he's like, dude,
I have 2 hands.
I'm not scared. I don't know.
I found a Ghost Hunter magazine at the dollar store today.
Nice.
It was $15, so I didn't get it, but I know. Jesus. But there's so many resources for you guys.
I know. We went down a list of some of the most haunted or not just haunted, but places in Maine with thick, like, urban legends.
Did you know Maine has a cryptozoology museum?
I did. I
International.
just found this like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah.
So you have a wealth.
I know. And there's like, I didn't realize, I think I told you this, but in our search for places to go, do the remote thing, apparently Nordica Auditorium is super haunted. It's on like almost every list I look up. That's so crazy. I didn't know that. Lady Nordica is like seen
in a white
frequently.
flowing dress.
So, of course, with an
Just-
aura glowing.
I was about to fall asleep, and then I saw a lady in a white flowing
Yeah,
dress.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The cops arrest a squatter. He's like, I was just searching for Lady Nordica. Okay.
She lured me in here.
Dude, one of them so Steve, obviously, I don't know if we've said on ours what he does. I mean, it's going to come out, so I don't know why he's hiding around. I think as long as we don't say where he does it. Steve is a police officer. Sorry, Steve. He won't care. And he has connections to an extent, he thinks he does, to get us into the old Amhi.
Oh.
Because apparently it's run by the Capitol Police because they own it, the state or something. I don't know. He'd have to clarify, but that hits so many bases.
Yeah. That's
an old psych ward, an old army something. It was before it was the psych ward.
Army
It was
testing bio.
yeah, could you imagine?
It's just like
It was something like, a barracks for, I don't know. He knew wounded something. I'm the worst. But anyway, it hits a lot of boxes. You want to talk about, a
go.
place?
Let's go.
I think we should. It'd be fun. But we got to talk about something happy-ish. We're at the tail end of this one if we're keeping it short, but we have this has been.
It's a good break for sure. I needed to get away from my computer.
Yeah, no, like I said, I love doing it too. I told you I've been running dry, but this is good. This gets me excited.
Well, we started with Imposter Syndrome.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll say I'm a little encouraged because I started today and it was a tougher house. The guy built it. He had like a homemade heating system in there.
Oh, Jesus.
Right. And then come to find out it had already been inspected by another company that is a big company. We're a small company, two of us, and they're a big. I don't know how many people, but and I guess the report was terrible.
Really?
From the other company and hard to like read and vague and things like that. So I did feel better at the end. Like I felt at first like all of a sudden, past couple of days, I was just like I don't know what I'm doing.
Is it? Past couple of days. I was gonna say, was that one because a bigger company had done it first, so there was that like weight of expectation?
No, it's just been lately.
Oh.
Where I'm like,
why?
I don't know.
Do you think it's from like a base level of confidence the last few days for some reason?
Maybe I don't know what has changed, but
have you tried anything that didn't work?
What do you mean?
Like I can only come from my experience. So I'm trying to think if I felt, and I do feel that, by the way. It's a big thing with creation where like, art is very difficult in any medium, audio, video, whatever, any medium, it's hard. Some days you wake up, this is a Tommy Emmanuel quote. He's like, some days you wake up like feeling like a master and with the ability of one, and other days you're a fool, period. It just depends.
Yeah, and that's what I can't figure out is what, and it could
Right.
be lack of sleep. It could be I'm just running on,
Yeah, I find that a lot of my outward, or the appearance of like outward confidence for me these days comes down to my productivity. It comes down to having some, outside stimulus to affirm ideas. So like, you want to hear something crazy at
Let's
the
hear
tail
it.
end of this?
Well, yeah.
Let me make it about me real quick.
Another one.
Let me listen for a second.
This has, I was like, what are you hearing? What are you trying to hear? This is the week for me of stolen business ideas.
Oh, that's right.
Guess
No. We didn't. This was last week too.
I can't talk about. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about this because I could still do it.
No, you should.
Okay, so then let's just talk about what that does, right? So this is really tricky, and I'm working at a bunch of angles in here because I'm insane. But I had one really, really unique artistic idea. Not stolen. They had no idea what this was. They didn't, it just, someone else did the same thing.
Someone else pulled it out of the ether.
Now, a lot of people's response when I told them, either business, people with me or friends and family, what have you, were like, oh, I can't believe someone else did it. I'm like, I couldn't believe no one had done it. That's my take on it.
Right.
Like, this is so rich in in subject matter that why wouldn't someone do it? So that one didn't, I mean, it does two things. Again, it's a huge bummer. If you have depressive traits like I do, you really have to check that at the door and be like, listen, take all of, there's a factor in this that sucks, but there's a lot of other things. So I start thinking of them because I'm trying to come up with strategy to not have imposter syndrome and at best and at worst, crippling depression.
Right.
One of them is it's validating.
Right. That's
what
true.
a fucking affirmation. Like if another giant company does the same thing you did, completely separate of each other, that's pretty cool because that means you were right.
No, I was saying I did it better, I think.
Oh.
I did it better than.
And you still felt like an imposter?
During today I did. And then I learned about this after the inspection. And
okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
So that helped you.
Yeah, a little.
Good.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm saying.
But I don't know how it started. Anyway, but so I was bringing it up. You said let's end on a good note. So I was saying, yeah, and I felt.
Well, this is good because sometimes a good note isn't just a bumper sticker. Sometimes it's strategy. Like I know I don't know all, but I know my mind is full of the new age sayings and the bumper stickers and the memes. And so I like when people dive in a little bit and be like, here's something that's helped me in a really unique way. Right.
Well, keep saying what you were saying because.
Yeah, so I think this might help. It's helping me. I don't want to give this out, but you'll know. I had a unique architectural construction development idea. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I had a very unique, saw a very unique opportunity in a vacuum in a certain area. And I've been looking for ways to do it. Not actively because I have way too many ideas and I'm too spread thin. So that's been backburnered for whatever. Plus, I mean, if you built anything through the pandemic, you're an idiot. I mean, unless it was...
You mean actual... yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not our thing. This big thing that I designed that I was telling you back, all right? So it was a perfect void for this. Like I saw the emptiness. I saw the need, the suction. I'm like, all right, there it is. I mean, we went as far as looking at land at one point for it. I was starting to talk to people about, getting investors in line because it turned into a way bigger project than I thought. Kels gets home the other night and goes, I talked to a patient. I don't want this to, because she knows I'm working on another big thing right now. She's very careful not to get me, obliterated.
Wound up. Yeah,
I do
down.
it pretty easily. Right. Down.
Right.
She's like, no. Forward momentum. She's like, if you can handle it, I want to tell you about it. I'm like, listen. I can handle it. She goes, they're building the exact same thing in the exact same location. What are the odds? I wish I could say what it was. I don't want to because, again, the reason I don't want to is not a transparency thing. It's this won't just work in that spot. That was a really good opportunity there, but there's plenty of those places, I think. I hope. But what are so number one, also, that's a little bit synchronistic.
We got that going.
2, that was a giant bummer. But I had to. So here's the thing. I did have an issue. I went to the gym about it. I was all drove up.
Oh, so you didn't handle it.
Well, I handled it well on the end because I started I found myself being super edgy, super angry. My responses were short. I'm sure. I mean, Kels knew, but then I realized you have to be real, right? So I start thinking. I'm like, was I going to actually do this anytime soon?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Probably not. I would have liked to, but I think other things are a little more important currently. So I was like, no, I wouldn't have. And furthermore, if I had to have done it soon, I would have been giving up most of my control in doing it because that's the only way to get it done. Right. So there are things that you need to check yourself in reality because anyone can play victim. And I have a a natural way about me from, I don't know if it's nature or nurture or both, but that I if I'm not careful, I'll do it even if I'm not meaning to do it. I will. Mm-hmm. So I have to be so careful. So I check all those boxes. I'm like, okay. Furthermore, does that make my idea obsolete? No, it makes it matter of fact. Well, right. I said, so I called her parents because they're great people, love them to death. They're not very business minded. They're not entrepreneurs. I mean, they don't make businesses. They're both hard workers and worked. They're retired now, but worked in great jobs, but they're not business people. So I was explaining the same thing to them. I was like, it does suck, but it's also pretty validating when you're this serial entrepreneur and you're not really a privileged guy. I came from absolutely nothing, and still, it's not like I'm rolling in the dough. And so I said to them, because imagine what I think some people might think an idea man is cool, right? Like the idea of like a Renaissance man, like not inventing, but you know what I mean? Having your fingers in everything and creating. And that's one thing, but it also can be tiring because it's always like you're bringing these acquaintances of yours a new idea. And well, here's Daniel's new thing. That isn't going to happen. Yeah. It's a cool idea, but he's not going to do it. It does feel good. It's a nice little ego boost when you see big companies doing it completely separate of you.
Right.
It's like, well, okay, it was a good idea. So here's what I took it as. Again, this is borderline manipulative. Saying this to whoever's listening. Self-manipulative. Well, it's not. Okay. It's Is
it rational? Are you rationalizing?
This is why we need whiskey, not Red Bull, dude.
Yeah.
You're seeing a new side.
Now we know. Okay.
That's right. So, but here's what I'm saying. I guess what it comes down to is you are going to spin an internal rhetoric, or you will have one, right? About anything. A lot of the time for me, if I'm in a down mood, it's bad. I'll spin a story that fits my feelings to validate them. Mm-hmm. We all do that.
Yeah.
You also have it in you to spin that story any way you want. So I'm going to take it. This is my choice. I'm working on a big business idea that is more promising than the last 5 years of business ideas for me right now anyway, at this point. And it could be obliterated in a week, or it could work. Who knows? Here's the thing. I have this unique opportunity to take what a year ago me would have let just completely wipe their legs out from under them. And I can spin that in my favor and say, if I'm feeling like an imposter, I can go, dude, this idea you're working on is good. Because guess what? 2 ideas of yours this week were stolen by bigger companies that have a lot more people that know what they're doing that also clearly thought they were good ideas. So take it as a confidence boost. Use that as fuel to launch you into other ideas.
I'm with you, man.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's a very long bumper sticker, 20 minutes long or 15 minutes long, but come on. Like, I wish people had said that shit to me. I wish I didn't have to come up with those strategies by being burnt out and distraught for half a decade,
Yeah. But if people had said it, would you have, ingrained it?
Probably not.
It just goes.
Yeah, it's a knowledge over the wisdom we're always talking about. It's true. I mean, I would have known it was true because I'm not dumb, but I wouldn't have put into.
But it wouldn't
action.
have had any stock. Yeah.
No, I would have been like, yeah, sure. I'm still bummed out that someone did my thing.
Off.
Yeah. But it's I think you have to do that too. And I'm always saying this to you, like, the fact that I brought up these, we are equal parts these 2 archetypes either way. The funny thing is the irony and the joke. But the fact of the matter is, this is, to me, I was a little bit worried to dive into these characters, I'd like to have them on display and stuff. And then I'm like, dude, no, because that's the point. We wake up as him and we wake up as him. It all depends on the day and it all depends on what happened.
I just wish, maybe this podcast can help us figure out how to wake up as him more often.
I think here's the thing. I think that's our goal as friends, period. Like, we meet there. So it's inherently the goal here.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, again, about one of our other podcasts, because I guess, like me and Steve said, I guess now we probably should be championing them. We barely mention them. But that's what we said. I said to Steve, it's like, and I don't think he is, but I want to make sure he's not. I'm like, don't be envious that, like, this show, and today is no show of that, but that this show might be a little more ironed out. We've had more time. And again, our vibe is newer. We're lucky. Like, we're taking advantage of the fact that our minds meet at a very crucial level of understanding, but a lot of topics above that are novel to you and I.
Yeah.
We don't have to fake it. A lot of the stuff we talk about is the first time we're talking about it. Yeah. Steve and I would have to fake that. I know the kid way too well. He's like family. So, and I think he's finally there. Like, that last episode was really good. It was cool. It was nice. It was smooth. It was genuine. Neither of us were acting. So I think this is going to have to be the brand of our channel too. We might actually end up being a little bit of the behind the scenes channel, a little bit, because that's how
how things.
that's kind of what we want the mission statement of this show to be, right?
And I'm really interested in how that works. Too.
Yeah,
I mean,
right,
I'm sure if I am, other people are too. So
That's right. And even like, God, when I do I'm going to have to, because the thing is, let's say I'm interviewing people on my show that yet to have a name, now that again it's taken, but
I have a name for you, by the way.
Okay, good. But even then, it's like it would be nice to have another show to be able to talk freely about that afterwards. How cool would that be?
Oh, the post show?
Well, yeah, not officially, but the fact is that's exactly what we do about everything.
Yeah.
So that it kind of by nature would be
the Monday morning,
which I think is cool. Another idea, which I like to say on the air because it holds us, it makes us accountable. Yeah, is I thought of like taking the bigger media house approach. Like sometimes when like let's say like XM shows or let's say XM shows, when they bring in acts, sometimes management will book that same act for multiple shows to make it worth their while.
Well, yeah,
we could do that.
Well, yeah,
have them on this, have them on me and Steve, have them on mine.
We're gonna have them here if they're gonna drive.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Plus, then we can there's that like underlying comedic value of playing on the fact that we just recorded all 3 shows right in a row. I'll throw on a different shirt each time or something stupid and then play on it.
Turn it inside out, yeah.
Yeah. Turn the action figures around. Swap action figures, whatever.
Yeah. I'm with it. All right, we're an hour. That's
give me something nice to end on and let you talk for a minute because I'm okay. Also, no, you go. I'm lit up, bro. I'm not sleeping tonight. I can tell.
I hope I sleep tonight, man. Ask me a question. I don't know. I don't talk. I'm not a talker. I'm a listener.
How do you think it went? I forget. I always ask you that. How do you feel about this one
today?
Yeah,
it was a little sporadic, but actually, you surprised me on both topics.
Really?
That I asked you about. You went real thorough on them.
We went into the layers, didn't we?
We went into the layers. Not all the way, because I would go into the layers with you on the addiction one.
We should
personal,
someday.
At
yeah.
personal level.
Yeah.
About how that affected you and things like that, and your reactions to things.
And I'm open to it on record because I think that'd be cool.
Right.
When we, because we would need a good amount of time.
And whiskey.
Yeah. And whiskey.
Yeah. But no.
I was surprised it came accidentally back full circle to the imposter thing.
Boom.
Which is I was not trying to do, and it was an accident. I'm not that clever.
Yeah.
But I thought it went good. I think that's the thing though. When I'm I don't think we've done one yet where I'm like obliteratedly depressed. We will. But doing one when I'm a little more centered, inherently because I'm centered, I'm not worried. So they can tell today, I'm sure, I'm very manic. So because I'm manic, I'm worried. You know what I mean? They just comes with the territory.
I don't know if they can tell.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I can.
I think I can't tell.
Are you serious? Even by the nature of like how all over the place, so I take that all personal, like, oh, I didn't do this one as tight as I should have. You just take it as, oh, that's how the show went today. Yeah. Wow. I can't. I need to like alleviate some.
Because you have a couple, you must have like the when you go to the eye doctor and they're like, this one's going to be blurry on purpose. And they have like the 2 lenses that come together.
I talk for 10 minutes about why one's better and one isn't.
You just have like 2 lenses.
I'm like, listen, doc, they're both good for their own reasons. And let me explain to you why. A isn't better than B. That's me.
Right.
And they're like, dude, shut up. It's A or B clearer.
Yeah. No, I think you must have that where it's like one lens sometimes, the other lens sometimes, both lenses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like today, I'm looking through one lens.
Yeah. I said this. I had a lunch meeting this week, and that was brought up, and it was a joke, and it was said, it was like, man, what did they say? Your girl, something about Kel, something about how does your girlfriend deal with this mindset? Something like that. And my response was, I had this ironed out because I've been asked it a million times. How do you put up with his energy? And it's you get the good with the bad. It's like that like hypermanic creative energy. You get a lot of like output for it because you have it, but you also have to deal with the back end of it.
We should bring her in.
We should,
because that would be an essential.
Yeah, I mean, a view into that
Because I wonder if she would
Mania.
say anything that would surprise you about how she.
I think she would if I wasn't like I'm also I like to take inventory of myself if I can, if I'm in the mindset to. So, and I'm always open to being critiqued and checked, and I think we're pretty open about that stuff. We have to be. So we talk about it.
You do.
So like, yeah, we've had like when I'm on a creative high and my output's really good, we'll say it. She has these checks, she's like, where are you at? How's your head? Are you staying healthy? Like sleeping.
Oh, that's cool.
Getting, because she knows. But the cool thing is you can't, like I've had business people that we know, like, can I have your mind? I'm like, you don't want it. One. And two, no, because you can't, it's not,
No.
you can't fake it. It's like I consulted for a local restaurant that Kelsey used to work at. So you probably know which one.
Yeah.
And that was a topic that was brought up. They're like, the owner was like, you remind me of another local business guy that's done very well. I wish I could have you guys as minds. And I was like, well, they're not just beneficial to give your restaurant a facelift. They're also torturous because the way that that's thought about is how everything is thought about, even if you don't want it to be. You don't get to choose. So it's, yeah. And I'm not, again, God, talk about self-inventory. It sounds so fucking self-congratulatory, and it's not. It is what it is. Further than it's not, personally that I champion that everyone has that mind. I was lucky enough to nurture it from a very young point. I say this to you all the time where you're like, I'm worried about my creative input or no, I'm not as creative. And I'm always like, yes, you are. You don't know how creative you are.
Right.
I think your experience hasn't shown you maybe sometimes how creative you could be.
You can get there, but I think it's for some people it just takes longer to get there, and you don't, like for me, I can't go 20 seconds at home without a distraction or you know what I mean? So how can you ever get there?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think there's anything special about those minds. I think those minds have been lucky enough to cultivate that.
That's also not totally true. I mean, there's like a kid in the paper today that had she's 3. She has an IQ of 146. I mean, that.
How do you even test IQ at 3?
I don't know.
Those tests are in depth. I was going to say insane. They're kind of insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they gear them towards age, but yeah.
God.
She probably liked it. She was probably like,
she
another
probably,
test?
Well,
I love it.
You're like, well, you're saying that because your IQ is 60, so you don't understand how she could do it. But
oh man, yeah, true.
Dude, you made it through with Crazy Me. I warned you.
That wasn't
warned
bad,
him.
dude. I bet you watch this, or I bet if people voted on this and said like on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever, how close to normal was this one? I bet they're like, this is a.
Dude, I want to be wrong too, because how
maybe not. Maybe
you know how cool it would be if it shattered the like if people were like, I liked that episode best. I'd be like, fuck.
You'd be like, God, you got too fucking Red Bull. Now.
Yeah. Now I gotta drink. Now I'm gonna die of a heart attack.
They won't.
No,
they won't like any of them.
It's funny. I never want to stop though. I see it ticking, and I'm like,
that's
every minute that goes by, it's like, yeah, this is another 5 gigabytes. I'm gonna have to wrangle, but it's like I don't even care. It's fun, man. I say this, and I'll keep saying it till we're done. Till, whenever. So probably never. That it feels like therapy. And I don't think that's special to you and I. I think it's special to conversation. And it's not had enough. Yes, it helps to talk to, if you need to, someone that knows what they're talking, like a real psychologist, right? But there, again, just like the alcohol issue, there is an inherent benefit to just talking. No one talks anymore.
When I moved home, I was having a real rough time. I tell people.
You told me it was the lowest point in your life.
Yeah, I moved back here to lick my wounds. Is how I felt.
Right.
And so, but I didn't have anybody to talk to. So I paid someone, right? I mean, it wasn't therapy. The guy was talking about shit but it was helpful for me to talk.
Yeah. You were literally paying him just to listen. This guy.
Yeah, and then I ended up listening. Can you imagine that?
No. But you have this you have this ambitiousness, not you're an open window. We said this one of the other episodes. You're one of those people.
Oh, you get the rain.
Yeah, but like people like us recognize people like us. I can tell. I always knew that. Like there's an energy to that.
Takes one to know one.
That's right. Yeah.
Didn't we start the thing with that? Didn't we start with that? Takes one to know one.
Oh yeah, that we were idiots. Not cool.
Yeah.
We've gone too long. We do want to save up for another one because we could literally do this all night. We really could.
We should do a 24-hour.
You know what we'll do? When the channel's big enough that they let us do lives, because now I think on YouTube, that would have to be a YouTube special. Because those podcast networks would not, I don't think they'd let you do one that long. I've never seen it.
Well, you would just cut it into 24.
Oh, right. And we could do that. But we can definitely say for sure that we could do, what those used to be called? Like a
telethon.
Telethon. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, because people could call in.
That's right. And the other thing is, if they knew, when we were going live, because I think when YouTube was new, man, you could do all that stuff right when it was incepted. Like you couldn't do lives right when it was a thing because they weren't a thing yet.
No,
but
I think
once
you
they
had
were,
to have you couldn't do videos over a certain amount of minutes.
that's right. There was a time limit, and there was I think there was a video limit. I don't know.
You had to get like so many videos up before you could.
That's right. Now you've got to meet certain requirements to do a lot of stuff now.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize. I just thought you could, if you start a new channel, you could go live, and they're like, I don't think you can. I could be wrong.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be so much.
Could
fun. I mean, 24 hours
we
is
could
insane.
We could do a meld. We could do like a Paranormies, Into the Layers.
Guest on my show with you guys co-guesting.
We could send people out in the field.
Oh my God,
while
dude.
we're talking or while you're talking, one of us could go out and report back while you're talking and come back and and just
and maybe by that point we have other shows and we could literally we could just give each show like 4 hours.
We'd have sleep deprivation as a factor. We'd have, that'd be cool.
And we would only be able to do it as a pass through from the technical end. There's not a card big enough to record 24 hours on here. So this would have to go hardwired in. Our new camera was that a race car that just went by?
What was that?
I think it was a crotch rocket, something. But we'd have to have this pass through and recording live to their servers. And same with the camera. We cannot because we couldn't. We'd fall apart in production.
This will be in like a couple of years.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
Dude, we're doing that. And everyone's going to be like, dude, let's just, 6 hours is a haul. I'm like, nope, 24 or nothing.
It's 48,
Jesus Christ.
No sleep.
We'd meet Jesus Christ if we went 48. Like, I saw him. He was sitting next to me.
Well, all drugs will be decriminalized, so we'll have mushrooms.
Oh, my God.
We're
going down a rabbit hole, literally.
Literally.
We could just do a live action Alice in Wonderland that
From the rabbit hole.
From the rabbit hole. I'm going to call mine Rendered to Ashes.
I'm going to call mine the Moron Telethon.
Moron Telethon. Oh, man. We never want to end them. I do have to say that was a nice conversation and a nice vent session for a busy, manic week. Do you feel any better about your tie-up this week, which was Imposter Syndrome?
Yeah, I feel better. I don't know if I feel better about that, but I'm making a plan. So
you're chopping away at it.
Yeah. Yep.
Just know you're not an imposter. We need the aw button.
Aw.
Just if that helps. I feel better too about little things that I just randomly vomited out of my loud mouth here.
Good, man.
But anyway, guys, that was another edition to Into the Layers. I have been Frank.
And I have been better.
And we will see y'all next time.
I shouldn't say that. I feel better now.